wire guru. We're getting ready to go into week number 2. Season's going along. Had a lot of injuries in week 1, so we got to get you ready for week 2, especially if you lost someone due to injury. We're going to go through quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, tell you who to grab, who to watch, and who to use for spot starters. I'm going to start with my QBs first. My first grab, I want you to go out and get him, if you have space, is Derek Anderson. He's still working on his timing. Didn't make a whole lot of bad decisions. Had his wide receivers fumbling, his running back fumbling. But as far as Derek Anderson goes, he didn't turn the ball over a lot. That also being said, his timing wasn't really all that on. Him and Fitz were kind of missing each other. But, he'll get better. I think you could do a lot worse at this point. But if you're out like Kevin Cobb, Matt Stafford, if you're depending on those guys, I would look to Derek Anderson at this point. Nobody to watch it right now, but I've got a couple spot starters for you. First spot starter is Jimmy Clausen. You're going to see Matt Moore will be out next week. The NFL is really taking concussions seriously. With his nasty concussion last week, Jimmy Clausen's going to get that opportunity in week 2. And I'm thinking Jimmy Clausen, if he can show off and really represent, maybe Carolina moves forward with him going into the season. So something to keep an eye on. Jimmy Clausen, someone that I would use in a spot start type situation right now, and he'll probably escalate to a grab if he really performs. Next, Michael Vick. Obviously, Kevin Cobb went down with a concussion. He will, I would guess, miss week 2, again with NFL standards. So I would think Mike Vick will be in there in week 2. Don't forget he was a Pro Bowl quarterback back in the day. Showed fairly good arm strength, speed, agility, and he's got Detroit in week 2. So, he's a huge sleeper for week 2. So Michael Vick, week 2, great spot starter, 2 QB type league, and just someone that I would, potentially use for week 2. Next, let's go to running backs. Grab Peyton Hillis. He is the starting running back right now on the Cleveland Browns. I like to call them the Cleveland 3-and-outs because they're going to go 3-and-out a lot. But Peyton Hillis is starting. He went under the radar everywhere. Even caught me a little off guard. But that being said, Peyton Hillis is the one to go and grab if you have room on your bench. Don't expect crazy numbers from the guy, but he is a starting running back, so someone to think about. Next is Brandon Jackson. Definitely Ryan Grant is out week 2. I would bet he's out for a couple more weeks. So you're going to need somebody. Brandon Jackson will fill that hole, and I like him a lot for week 2. So go ahead and grab Brandon Jackson right now. If you want to turn the video off and come back, Brandon Jackson's the person you want to go get right now. Has great upside in the next week or 2. I'm still watching Leon Washington. I think I talked a little bit about last week. He's getting a lot of the kickoff duty, the punt return duty, but the neat thing about it is when he gets in there, he is the best running back on that team in my opinion, and he will continue to get more and more carries as the season goes on, and I would see him being the starting running back on Seattle. So Leon Washington, that's who I'm watching. Moving on to wide receiver. I told you about him last week. He was a watch. Now he's a grab. It's Mark Clayton on St. Louis. You guys heard it here. Great PPR guy to grab. Definitely looks a little more talented to me than Laurent Robinson. Looks like the guy. I'm grabbing him in a lot of leagues where I've got a deep bench, or I'm in a big fat league where you got to go deep. So Mark Clayton is someone I love in a PPR league. Next is Mike Thomas. I told you about this guy. He's producing. Yes, Mike Sims-Walker got shut out last week in Denver, but he was playing a shutdown corner. So, don't go out and get rid of Mike Sims-Walker, and I wouldn't sell Mike Sims-Walker. In fact, you can get him real cheap in a trade, so maybe Mike Sims-Walker is someone you grab in a trade. But that being said, Mike Thomas is solid. I like this kid a lot. He's sitting on a lot of waiver wires, someone that I'm putting on my bench for bye weeks and injuries. But I grab him. Your spot starter, I have no watches right now. Your spot starter is Mike Williams in Seattle. Looked fairly solid. Somebody that, I could see using if you had a big injury or just didn't have much left on the waiver wires. So Mike Williams out of Seattle. Finally, for your tight ends, I'd go ahead and grab Jermaine Gresham. Getting enough looks from Carson Palmer, looking like somebody that, if you needed a tight end, you could go to. I'm not crazy about the guy, so don't get me wrong, but in a dynasty league, maybe. I'm just not crazy about him, but he's a grab, someone to really monitor, especially through bye weeks. Who am I watching? I'm watching Billy Bajema. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's Bajema. He is the new tight end in St. Louis. Humawani is pretty much done. Got a high ankle sprain, going to be out a long time. Nasty, actually. So Billy Bajema would be someone I'm watching right now at the tight end position. And that's it. That's week 2. Guys, please check out HattyWaiverWireGuru.com. Email me if you have questions. It's HattyWaiverWireGuru@HattyWaiverWireGuru.com. I've got weekly rankings there for you, which I update throughout the week. I have radio shows. We have some awesome trophies you guys should go ahead and purchase for your leagues. I've got them for my main league. I'm buying one of these things. Pretty sweet. And that's about it. Check out the articles. We have articles coming out all the time. Good luck in week 2, and let's kick some butt.